it live another week. This is my favorite. We're officially live. I feel like that's my favorite phrase right now. Hola, welcome. I'm so excited to be here, everyone. Thank you for being here with me. I can't believe it. Kicking off another episode. We are episode 10. Double digits, 10. Who would have thought? Little perseverance. So working hard. Welcome to the show. I hope everyone gets comfortable. I'm really excited for tonight's conversation. So we're going to have someone that has a great story and is very live on LinkedIn, very familiar face. And we're going to get into that a little bit tonight. So I want everyone to go ahead, get the chat warmed up. Let me know if you can hear me. How's the music? Let's check the chat real quick. All right, everyone's all right coming in. This is great. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Annie. Hi, Tim. Thank you. We're social. Oh, yes. Thank you. Woohoo. You like that? All right. So, yep. Powered by StreamYard. Thank you, StreamYard. Always 10 episodes. They're great. All right. And then Stream Elements helps. Hi, David. Thank you for being here. And KDJ. Okay, great. Everyone's showing up, showing some love. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me on this Monday night. This is a platform that I have for individuals who want to come and share their stories. It's to destigmatize and normalize mental health, disability, traumatic experiences. So this is a place we like to talk about mayhem. Each guest has incredible experiences. We like to talk about them so they can be known and shared. Always add a trigger warning. We want to encourage discretion as we talk about difficult things that can be mature in nature. So, all right, let's get back into it. I appreciate everyone that's here. Please, if you have not, follow, like, subscribe, however you're watching. I appreciate the support. Share. It's always appreciated. We want to keep making change in our society and our world for the better, helping everyone along that has difficulties in their life. We all have them. Okay, so here we go. Let's get right to our guest. I'm going to give him a quick intro. I know people are coming in. They're saying their hellos. I see the chat is going. You know what? There we go. All right, let's get to it. So tonight's guest, one of my dear friends, really enjoy having conversation with him. So hope you guys enjoy this. He has an unbelievable source of connection. He's got so many followers, so many connections out there that he speaks with and maintains, just resources for everyone. If you need something, I'm sure he knows someone that can help you. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. He talks about lots of his vulnerabilities and his traumas. He's here to inspire others, be their best selves, talk about a personal journey, about severe child abuse, alcohol and drugs, depression, but he continues to empower, my gosh, I can't even talk, empower others through daily life. He has his hardships and he shares those to maintain his connections and continue to shine light for others. So we're going to start talking to him and we're going to bring him out. He's a live streamer that's always out and available. Here we go. Let's bring out my friend, Mike Padurano.
Hey, DJ.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you.
I'm never live. This is my first live. I'm very nervous.
Why?
This is my first live ever. I've never done this before.
Whatever.
I'm up to like 8 a week now. It's like kind of crazy, actually. It's a little over the top. It's a little bit too much mic for the world.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep saying hi to the chat. Let's see who's here real quick. I know we got Jackie. Jackie says hi, Michael. David. Everyone's chatting. Everyone's saying hello. It's always really nice. Oh, man. I'm just running through these.
Telling you, we got Mumford.
Let's get to it now more than ever. I know. We love that. Thank you so much. It's just really nice. Okay, everyone's here. Shout out to Michael. Here we go. All right, Mikey. Can I call you Mikey?
That's fine.
Michael.
Not difficult.
How are you doing? Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm doing pretty well. It's been an adventure with the kids home this week so far. I'm 4 days in and I'm ready for them to go back to school already.
Well, they're just gonna have to in there a little longer.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
6-7 days. It's torture.
All right. So I know that you said, "Oh, this is your first live stream," but you've got like 3 shows.
No, well, okay, so yeah, I mean, I have the one that's 4 days a week, and then I have my show that's the KEW Exchange. Then I have the Misfits, which is the whole group you've been a part of.
Yeah,
Then I
I've been there.
have me and Nancy's show, which is on Sundays. Tomorrow, me and Jairus Tucker are launching our show. And then on Wednesday, me, Jen Zahari, and Christy M are launching our show. So, yeah, I didn't have enough to do, so I added 2 more.
So how many total shows is this now?
Yeah, I'm losing count. 5, and live about 8 times a week. It's
That's a lot of
yeah,
airtime, a lot of live time.
yeah. Well, it's such a pretty face. We got to get it out there.
Good stories. You talk about some really important things, like deep, powerful things. So, I mean, I've caught you chatting away in different episodes with different guests, and I mean, you talk about really the power of connection and vulnerabilities and all kinds of other things.
Yeah, I mean, we go into spirituality. We go into topics that nobody wants to talk about, spiritual awakenings. We talk about past life regressions. We talk about being connected, right? Connectedness. We talk about marriage transitions and the tragedies involved with that, being a single parent. I mean, we talk about abuse. We talk about societal stigmas, environmental stigmas, which is tomorrow, actually, environmental stigmas with Daryl Arnold.
Wow. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, we talk about all the hardcore topics, right? And then, me and Nancy talk about connected human conversations, which yesterday was trauma versus realizing trauma or accepting it as trauma. So yeah, I mean, we don't go light on these, right? Like this is purely to inspire others to be more open with their experience. Because when you're open with it, you take the power away from it over you, right? And that's the key.
Yeah.
By allowing a secret to control you, then the secret can swallow you whole. So the key is to not allow the secret to control you and just to put it out there and know that you're going to get through it and people around you will support you no matter what, right? Have that trust in those that are there for you.
Right. So important. Trust is critical in any stage of growth, development, personal healing. I mean, in order to move forward, you have to have trust within yourself or within your support systems that you've identified, you've established.
Yeah, I mean, faith and trust, right? Because you have to have faith in yourself, faith in what you believe in, faith in those around you. I mean, it all works, right? Like, if you don't have faith and trust, then you're never getting anywhere. You need that combination, and it starts within, like everything else. If you don't have it inside of you, then you're never going to get anywhere, right? Anybody can be surface level. Anybody can talk about topics that are surface level, but without going through the shit, you're never getting anywhere. You're just not. It's unfortunate.
How's that weather, Mikey?
It's a shit story.
No, but it really is unfortunate. I mean, time is precious. I mean, time is so valuable, and to sit and waste time on frivolous topics or irrelevant things that really do you no service and do you no purpose nor your society.
Well, I think, look, there's a time and a place for everything. There's, people need lighthearted inspiration just as much as they need down and dirty, right?
Right.
I'm just a little bit of a masochist, and I have no problem getting down and dirty. I just have no problem airing it all out. I'm not ashamed of anything in my past or current.
That's why you're here. Yeah,
it is,
No, but I appreciate right. And you've been through so much. So then let's back it up and then let's go into the background. Like, you're right now, you come across like talking about all these wonderful, powerful topics, but there's a lot back behind all that.
Oh yeah, there's a shitstorm of hell. Right. I've walked through the trial by fire numerous times, right?
Yeah.
I was adopted at birth. I was verbally and physically abused. I was Um, and then I had my first near death experience around 4 years old. Woke up, was spiritually awake. All my abilities and gifts presented themselves. I was blamed, shamed, and guilted into believing that something was wrong with me. Psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, and then eventually neurologist to get brainwave scans, because literally I felt like I was just always wrong. And I started drinking at 9 to bury it, and
Wow.
by 12 the alcohol wasn't working anymore, so I found hardcore drugs. OD'd.
Yeah, and I assume that was something that was already around you to be so accessible.
I mean, I grew up in South Florida. Everything's around. I mean, it's easier to get cocaine. It's easier to get cocaine than it is marijuana. So, I mean, obviously, I tried coke before I did marijuana. So, at 12 years old, it's just accessible.
I don't know about the obviously part. Like most people would say, marijuana is the gateway, really.
Yeah,
but it's just, it could be in a different way, right? In a 5D kind of way.
Well, I mean,
start talking about that kind of.
But I also had a death wish. Like, I wanted to die. I mean, by the time I was 12, I already had 3 near-death experiences. Mm-hmm. So at that point, I didn't think I could die. And I proved that I couldn't at that point, right?
To yourself.
Yeah. I mean, by then, when 12 to 13, I OD'd 3 times, 4 times. I OD'd another 2 times after that in my mid-teens. My late teens, I OD'd another 2 times. My heart stopped once. They were going to crack my chest open. I was staring down at my body in an ambulance. I mean, I remember it specifically. Like, I was out of my body staring down at it while they were saying, we're going to crack his chest open. And again, it was, you can't leave, get the hell back in. And that's just kind of how that one went. It wasn't like willingly, hey, I want to go back. It was, shit, I'm going back. And then there were other times, like horrible car accidents that nobody should have walked away from that I did.
Wow.
Serendipitous and, synchronicities that allowed me to get away with certain things that I got away with. Mm-hmm. That made no sense because I was just such a mess. Like my DUI, I parked down on the train tracks and I was there for hours, and they were working on one of the tracks and rerouted 7 trains. But during that time period. And I had a $498,000 bill to prove it, but when they threw my case out the first time and they brought it back the second time, they forgot the punitive damages. So I got lucky because, the judge pulled me aside when I walked back in and he said, they left out the punitive damages, accept whatever they're giving you. Accept it. And I did. And I lost my license for 6 months and whatever else was entailed, and it's on my record for 75 years. If anybody could find a photo, please send it to me, because I really want a photo poster size so I can always remember what that felt like.
That is interesting.
I actually had hair in the photo too, so that would be kind of interesting to see what it looks like, because who knows what that even is anymore. It never gets to that point to even know what it would look like. But yeah, I mean, and then at 27, I got sober and I started spiritually waking up again, and I had a spiritual guide that manipulated me into really crazy, nasty shit. And I just was very naive and believed it because I never had a human spiritual guide, and I was
spiritual guide. Okay.
Well, I mean, think about it, right? Like when I was a kid, I had all the spiritual guides in the world, but they were all spiritual. And since I was blamed, shamed, and guilted that it never existed, when after all those years, I never had a human one. And then I finally had a human spiritual guide, and he just manipulated, twisted, turned me, put me all over the place, and, really used my abilities to take advantage and bury people. And it was really shitty.
Wow. That's a whole nother level of destruction, mental destruction.
It was really nasty. And shortly after that, I kind of just gave up. I just gave up. I just shut myself back down, settled into marrying somebody that I wanted nothing to do with, that wanted nothing to do with me, and said, I need to have kids. And she said, let's have kids. And that was fine. And that was the way we got together. I said, if we're getting together, we're having kids. And that was all that was about. There wasn't love. There wasn't any of that stuff. There was no normalcy to it. We had our kids. And during that marriage, I was completely shut down spiritually. Like, I was
Mm-hmm.
sober, but I didn't do any emotional work. I did my 4-step, I did my 5th step, did all the steps, was working with other people to get them sober, worked at rehab facilities, really gave back in a lot of ways.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but I wasn't really happy and free because I didn't do the emotional work. So I never felt that free and clear sobriety feeling. And then, my current circumstance, well, in between, I went through house fires, evictions, business partners stealing over $60 million from me, being homeless, living in hotels for periods of time with kids and my soon-to-be ex-wife. Like, I've been through it all. Like, I've been millionaire, homeless a few times now. So I know the value and no value that monetary stuff has over me at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
control me. It doesn't impact me. I don't worry about it because there's always more to be had when I want to. You want me to keep going? I don't know. You want me to keep
Like,
going? You want me to breathe?
I'm
Like,
take a breath. I don't know. I'm like, okay, woo. I don't want to interrupt,
No, you're good. There's a lot of unpacking there.
Yeah, and I think it's, that's why we're here, right? That's exactly why we're here, to just talk about things that a lot of us do go through. A lot of those things that you touched on that a lot of people can relate to. And that's the whole purpose of being here, is sharing, being able to destigmatize and break down those judgments and bring awareness to like what we're all going through on the daily. We might have went through it, but it's still there and we still deal with it. So I'm sorry, I hear a feedback. So hopefully it's not terrible to the audience. But I hope
I don't hear any on this side.
oh good. Okay, good. But it just, these, the conversations, I really do appreciate them because it really brings to light what we go through on the daily. And that's what I was just talking about. You went through a lot of different issues, from like social stuff, like things that we go through like spiritual. So I'm like, whew, we could get some questions. I don't know if the chat has questions. I couldn't even see what they were talking about. And then I have like questions I can ask. Let's see. I do have your information here for people that can follow you. So let's do a shout out real quick. Your hashtag Mike Gets Real.
Yeah.
And then you have a YouTube channel, but they can look you up under
I have 2 YouTube channels.
I didn't know. I can throw it in the chat if you want me to share that.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't. It's. I'm not looking for it. It's not something I'm pushing. I've never pushed it. It's just like it's not something that I do.
Mm-hmm. Well, we answered one of my first questions, those hardest moments growing up.
Yeah, I think I covered most of those, huh? Some of my struggles.
Right. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, how about stigmas then? How do you think that stigmas have affected you?
Stigmas. I was labeled in kindergarten that I was slow to develop. And they put me into something called pre-first, which doesn't even exist anymore. It was this intermediate. Oh my God! It was this middle grade thing that didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
They had a problem with me trying to fit square pegs in round holes when they just weren't creative enough to figure out how it could work. And by the time I was in 5th grade, I was in gifted. By the time I was in 6th grade, I was in honors. By the time I was 7th grade, I was a retard. By the time I was in 8th grade, I was getting thrown out of the public school system in the whole county for 2 years. Then I went to a private high school, and again, all AP and honors classes as a freshman. Sophomore, I went down to C's and D's, and was whatever. And then by the time I was a junior, it was just straight F's. And I was asked very gently to leave and not come back. The private high school, and it was past the 2-year window. So then I went back to public high school, and that only took 3 months for them to say, by the way, don't come back. It was a very interesting experience for school because I just never fit into any of the labels or anything that they ever gave me. Right? They couldn't figure out, the education system doesn't adapt to students that learn differently. and it's a major issue, and it's something that I combat on a daily basis, and that I'm working on actually revolutionizing for the whole world. It's one of my companies. Is to redevelop the global education system in my spare time, because I just gotta do stuff like that. So like, stigmas, labels. I mean, there's tons of them, right? Like I used to hang out in bad neighborhoods as a kid, and they used to call me. Yeah, they used to call me the crazy white boy because I was the only white person in the neighborhood. No.
Aww.
So like, I mean, there's always been stigmas, and I love you too, Sid. There's always been, stigmas and, other things, right?
Right, and that's right. And then people in boxes. It's pretty much right. That's why we're here trying to, and just understanding that people need to be more aware when they are doing that, or when they're, perpetuating stereotypes.
And by the way, Annie created the hashtag, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
That was on Annie. That was on Annie creating that hashtag. So.
Okay. All right. Hey, props to Annie. I feel like I have been ignored the chat because we were just listening to you talk. Everybody's just talking amongst themselves anyway. So let me just look real quick over here. Let's talk about food. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, let's just keep it moving. Let's see. Something that you can look back on and say that was transformative for you.
Wow. Now, are we talking about youth, or are we talking about in my life? I don't know, Sid.
Oh, whatever, in your life, of course, in your life. It's something that you can share for others, of course, to continue to break those stereotypes. But, this has been transformative for me. People can change, right? We're all capable of changing. There is always area, and we want to create space for that.
I mean, I guess meeting Annie when I did last year, I mean, that was beyond transformative because, she introduced me to Brene Brown. She introduced me to gratitude. She introduced me to a lot of the work that I did over the last year, right? Our friendship, closeness, whatever you want to call it, has guided me through one of the hardest times in my life and propelled me to really evolve through it rather than just surviving through it. So, I mean, that would, I guess, say probably at this point where I'm at right this moment, the most transformative thing that's ever happened to me.
All right. Good answer. That's sweet. That's really sweet. I mean, you're always talking about and sharing on how you're constantly transforming anyways, and it's a constant, never ending. And I think that a lot of us, anybody would agree. Well, people that understand, that have maybe a sense of understanding that it's an evolutionary process within yourself. And if you haven't come to that term, you have to come to that. You have to start within you first, and you have to start moving forward.
Well, and it's also continuous. It's never ending till the day you die, right? So you're not done till you die. So the day I'm done is the day I die, whenever they finally allow me to leave, whenever that may be, because I haven't been allowed so far.
Right. Let's see. Oh, Tim, you're good. Thank you.
What's the best thing that's happened in my life?
The best thing that's happened so far? That's a good question. Let's see what else I got here.
I don't know. I think finding myself during this journey, right? Because it's put me in a position to where I've been able to become the father that I am. I've been able to become the friend that I am. I've been able to become the person that I am, right? It's, so the best thing that's ever happened to me was finding myself in this process.
Mm-hmm. Right. Starting within, starting with yourself.
Yeah.
Understanding it's continuous.
Yeah, Chantel. That's true.
I gotta give a shout out. Yay, Chantel. I mean, there's so many. Jackie's still here. G came through. She's saying hi to everyone. We have Annie. I know other people came through earlier in the chat, and we were just going at it. So let's see what else. Geez, I'm just stuttering all over my words, Michael. I don't even know what to say. What have you taken away? But what are you gonna keep moving forward with, in this moment?
I mean, my purpose is to evolve humanity through knowledge and understanding. So, that's my legacy goal. That's my purpose. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing it. Like, there's no doubt of what I'm here for and what I'm going to do. There's no questioning what I'm here for and what I'm going to do. And because my legacy goal has that large landscape, it means I can work in any area, any industry, any space. As long as I live within my core values, I'm able to have that impact and ripple effect across every single person I touch. And that's the reality. I do it on a daily basis.
I believe in values tremendously, and sticking to your values and making decisions that align with your values. Because if you don't, then you're doing a disservice to yourself and your heart and yourself as a whole.
And we can talk about that one for a minute, because values isn't easy to figure out. Like, if you're not doing the work, you don't even know what your values are, right? You have no clue what your core values are if you're not out doing the work on yourself. Because for most of my life, I thought I was living within values and standards and moral and ethical responsibilities as a human being towards others. But the reality was, like, I didn't even know what my core values were to be able to stand into them. So how could I be doing what I'm meant to do if I didn't even know what that was? Like, it took time. It took
I
work.
agree.
It took a lot of work. Like, I mean, that's a shit ton of work, a shit ton of tears. Like, I probably could own a tissue company by now, right? Like, I mean, this is just the reality. Like, you've got to go deep and dig into the shit to get through it.
Right. And so, what are some of the values that you are steadfast in?
Clear communication, transparent honesty, continuous growth, continuous spiritual growth, guiding others, helping others. Those are really core ones. I mean, there's others as well. Like, I'm a little crazy and over analytical, so I broke it down into 4 categories. Did like this big old list, and like broke it down like mental, emotional, spiritual, and then what I'm looking for in a partner. Right, and then what I'm looking for in a partner, so that I have a clue of what I'm even looking for. Like, how do I know that somebody that I fits into that if I don't even know what I'm looking for?
Right. Again, starting back with yourself. This is why I'm going to talk about strength-based but personal growth. Identifying your strengths, I don't really go into values, but I was going to start with strengths, and all of that really aligns with that. You have to start within, you have to look, you have to really analyze and work through those emotions, work through those memories, work through those experiences, and shovel out what's up.
So here's what I really, really learned over the last year.
Yeah.
Is when I can love my flaws as much as I love anything else in my life, then I know that I'm truly loving myself. And when I find people in my life that I love their flaws, then I know that I truly love them, right? Because that means that I can accept them for exactly who they are and understand and empathetically be there for them in a compassionate way that most other humans on this planet aren't willing to do. Because people aren't willing to look at themselves and embrace their own flaws. Most people, most want to focus on strengths, focus on, what they're best at. Me, I want to focus on what's worst about me. I want to work on the crap.
Well, your approach is a little different than my approach.
Well, no, and it's not a judgment, but it's just
oh no, I know that. I don't take it as a judgment. I find it like, in order to start working with individuals, with clients, it's easy to start with strengths. It's easy to identify those strengths, and it's a lot harder to talk about.
You're naked, baby.
Or what I get a lot is people just come in and they want to talk about everything that's wrong with them, and it's really hard to start from a place of despair. When someone's coming in from a place of despair or desperation, So I find that it's important to start talking about their strengths, at least to start the work, to start some of the internal works.
You've got to, you're right. When you're first starting it, you need to be able to see something in yourself.
Something in yours, and how to be able to even look inward.
Right. And then once you identify the strengths, or you identify the things that you actually can love about yourself. Good. When you start finding stuff that you can actually love about yourself, then you find a reason to do the work on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because, taking something like this work, taking the work on is not an easy feat. So if you're going to take the work on, you better know what you have going for you and that you're willing to put yourself through, and the reason that you're willing to put yourself through it. So you're right. I mean, I'm just not gentle, right? Like we talk about this all the time.
Fluffy.
No, I am not fluffy. I mean,
yeah, no, you're very direct, and we've talked about the way you communicate is not for everyone. And a lot of people might not understand, and people communicate in different ways. So that's just another thing you have to account for when you're working with individuals, or when you're trying to assist individuals, their communication.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not soft and fluffy. I'm not gentle. I mean, look, I'm working on being gentler. I'll never be gentler. I'm never going to be fluffy because it's just not who my personality is.
Yeah,
I'm a very direct person, good, bad, and indifferent. I'm also the human trigger, so I'll constantly trigger people just because the conversations that I have with people are raw and vulnerable and straightforward.
Right, absolutely.
So a lot of people avoid speaking to me because they're just not ready to face it, and I'm okay with that. Saves me time because
they weed themselves out. They weed themselves out.
People really do. Like, they have a way of removing themselves from my life, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have the energy for it. Stop.
Well, and then it works out that way. Then that's it works out for your favor. The people that really understand you understand the way, what you're here to bring, what you're here to do, what your purpose is, what your mission is. They're gonna stick around. But there has to be a level, they have to be able to understand things in a different perspective. It can't be just there has to be some level of intelligence, I think.
Well, I mean, but I also surround myself by fluffy people. So if somebody, I'm very good at, redirecting somebody that I offended to somebody fluffier to tell them the exact same thing, just in a fluffy way. And I'm good at, and I'm intuitively good at who to introduce them to do so.
Right. Yeah, we know. Yes, you're awesome at connecting people. That's definitely something we wanted to touch on. Is how you do that. You just have this intuitive nature. You just know it comes to you, and then people connect. And when they do, it really works. It's worked for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's always just simple. Like, you guys need to talk and figure it out for yourselves. Like, I'm not directing conversations. I'm not giving really insight. I'm not really looking for approval. I'm just making the introduction and go figure it out yourself. Like, there's an intuitive reason for me doing it. So just go, just run with it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know that you get that. I mean, that comes from somewhere else, right? That message.
Oh yeah.
That information. That's definitely from like higher power, wisdom, consciousness. And I know that's
whoever's keeping me here. Yeah. like trapped in this existence. Yes.
Right. Exactly. But you're doing good work. I mean, you know why you're here, so you're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not stopping. I mean, nothing stops me, so I'm just gonna keep going until I'm there. Like,
obviously, with all these shows you got, I mean, you're really trying to send out. You've got message to send.
I'm trying to hold space and amplify voices, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm trying to amplify voices, and that's what's important. Everybody needs to understand how important their voice and their message is. Absolutely. And everybody needs to know that, my story might resonate with many different people, but because I'm not fluffy, It might not be. I might not be the person to approach, and that's
Right.
fine.
Right.
But I can introduce you to 50 people that are fluffy, that have gone through the same crap, that are willing to listen to me in a non-fluffy way, and able to translate it into fluffy that other people can deal with. Right.
It's
So
right. It's more digestible. It's
yeah.
more
Right.
right. A lot of people struggle with, they feel confronted, right? They feel called out. And people don't like that.
But ironically, what's really funny is like when you get past that initial conversation with me, I'm really like this big human teddy bear.
Well, that's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. Michael is a big human teddy bear.
I have once you get past that initial conversation, yeah.
I'm just kidding. I know that. I know that. So, oh, he's in daddy mode.
Always.
Yeah, it's fine. We know
It's
this can
never ending.
happen.
I got the three of them
Yeah,
running around like crazy people. None of them listen. They do whatever they want.
and you're busy, so it's fine. It's understandable. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see. Oh, the chat.
Yeah, I had to mute for that because when giving direct instructions, um,
Mhm.
it's you got to be careful. You don't want to misinterpret. I'm not really soft and fluffy with them either, so.
It's fine. Oh, thank you, Chantel.
But I do have those moments. I mean, I do have moments where I am like, okay, so go ahead. Like, I do have moments where I am too, though. Like, I mean, after the court date, and it didn't go the way that any of us wanted, right? And it got extended. My son went basically catatonic, and sat there crying, shaking, with his thumb in his mouth for a couple hours. And because most people don't know how to handle that situation, I had to, after a period of time, I was able to sit down next to him, hold him, cry with him, and break him out of it, like pull him back out. So it's not like I'm always an insensitive prick, just a lot of times. Just most of the time. It's really the initial conversation. It's more like just that initial window. If you can break through the initial window, then you got a shot of keeping me around a while, because I'm usually this tremendously affirming, endearing person that will always lift the people closest to me up nonstop. Like, I just want to see the best in everybody and see them be their best for themselves. I want nothing in return.
Right.
Like, that's not what it's about for me.
That's true. That's definitely one thing that you definitely do, is really like encourage and allow people to be themselves and to accept themselves and understand that where they're at is perfectly okay where they're at.
Yeah, and what's funny is my initial conversations really don't go very well with people, a lot of times, because of how direct I am with things. Uh, and it freaks people out a lot, right? And people don't like really people seeing their weaknesses or sore spots or flaws. And I don't say it to like call them out. I say it because you know you need to work on what I'm calling you on, right? Like, this is your pain points. And people, I mean, even Jarvis Tucker, right? Like, if you ask him, he disappeared on me for like, I think 2.5, 3 months. And then after the first conversation, and then came back and said, you were right about every single thing. We need to have another conversation. I'm finally ready to hear what you have to say. So, and then, yeah, I mean, everybody digests it at their own pace, right? And then others need confirmation from other people. Others need, to be introduced to others that can say the same things that had no knowledge walking into the conversation. And that's why I don't pretense any conversation with any information, because I want it to be a clean slate for each individual that goes into it.
I find that I work like that a lot in my previous experience, just working with individuals or cases. I'd never really wanted to read the history of the case or know about the case. I wanted to meet the individuals first and really just have my own personal, non-biased introduction before you start reading and figuring out everything that is there to be dealt with. So it's nice to look at a human as a human and say, hey, nice to meet you. I'm here to work with you, help you, assist you, get through this with you, before you start really like getting into stuff that's going to be difficult and painful and scary and not pleasant, difficult conversations, calling people out. And I do it gently. I do it a little fluffy. This is why we've been using the word fluffy, because I'm that person. When I work with them, I like to take it easy. I like to, not stir the pot, not make it. I don't like to peel the Band-Aid off too hard. I mean, like, rip it, like, but the work's still got to be done, right? It's still the message has got to get across. So you still do it. It's the way we communicate. But yes, I do. Going back to it, I agree 100% with what you said, and that, I work like that as well.
Well, for me, stir the pot. I love Kenny, but keep in mind, like, when
Kenneth.
I have a major flaw when I meet people, right? And I'm very self-aware of this, and I'm trying to be better at it. When I meet somebody and I have that initial call, I don't see them I don't see their human self. I go straight soul deep. Like, everything I do in that initial call is soul deep. Like,
how is that possible?
What do you mean? How is that possible?
Soul deep.
Everything I do.
Hard.
Everything.
It's really hard. I mean, I guess I'm a little slower. I get into the soul.
I'm a little, I'm just directed to the point. Like, I just go straight to it, right? And like, sometimes I miss the human factor. Like, I really do, and I'm self-aware of it. I'm working on it, but I really miss the human factor at times, because everything I do is so soul deep that it really sometimes I just miss the top level, the human level.
Yeah. Right. And it's funny, we started talking about the superficial stuff. Like, sometimes that superficial stuff, it's okay in passing, hey, but right, a lot of the work is hard and it's exhausting and it drains you, and you have to find ways to re-energize, lack of a better term at the moment, but yeah, I don't mind so much, like, just that human, like, getting to know them. Superficial's okay for me at first. I don't need to go soul deep so fast.
For me, it's about intent, right? I need to understand the intent of every individual I'm dealing with.
Absolutely.
So for me to know the purest intent is to go straight soul deep. And I just go straight there. Like, I just see it. I mean, it's not even a conscious thing. It's a fully subconscious thing with me, where I just see soul level. I mean, I do
it, but I do it in a very different way. That's very interesting.
Well, we do, you're fluffy and I'm not, right?
Right.
You said you're having a bad hair day. I'm having a no hair day. So, we're good. It's, we're in the same spectrum, right? It's there, but there's different ways, right? We need different ways to do things and different people to do it their ways.
Absolutely.
I swear, sticking on her fifth spoon today. Like, there's got to be like 5 spoons in that room.
Right. And I think that's what's so, like, beautiful about even the Misfits. It's just so many different people all doing the same work, but we do it in different ways. We can communicate with different people in different ways, and just, work in different ways. The way we work in our energetic ways. I do like a little fluffy. I do like that non-confrontational atmosphere. I like it to be safe in a how would I express it? In a emotional way, like comforting way.
It's not that I'm not comforting or safe, right? I create a safe space.
You're safe. Right. Not about comforting up front, though.
Maybe not comforting. But I'm definitely safe space. And I hope.
Right. I know that.
And I also accept people for where they're at, right? It's not that it's not accepting them. It's just, I'm just going straight to the core of the shit. Like, you want to know where you got to go? This is where you got to go. Like, here you go. Go on your merry way. Come back when you're done. Like,
pretty much, right?
Yeah, like, and people disappear for years. People disappear for weeks. People disappear for months. Come back eventually, and then it's like, okay, what's next? Like, I'm finally ready. I've lost enough.
What
I've been
happened?
through enough.
What'd you do all this time?
Right,
Did you take me up on my... Right.
But I don't even. But there's no point, because when they do come back, then I understand why they're back. So what's the difference? They're ready to move forward.
Right. Right. That's true. That's so true. I find commonalities across the board on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it is. When they're ready, they're ready. When they can in one ear, out the other at first. They can ignore it. They can avoid it. They can deny it all they want. But eventually it's going to come to terms. They're going to have to come to terms with it. It's going to be ongoing.
So real quick, what's going on with Kenny? Because his cursing is getting really out of hand these days. Like, he's starting to curse everywhere. He never used to curse. He never used to do any of that. It's always scrumptiously, deliciously, edibly, tastily, whatever it is. Now he's dropping, like, he was dropping F-bombs the other day. Like, he's getting out there. Like, Kenny, you're just, I think you're tired of people. I think you're tired of people, but I don't blame you. There's a lot of ungrateful people, but I don't know. Like, Kenny's dropping some language here. I love it.
Ooh. Yeah, you like it? Okay, there you
go. I'm starting to get offended.
I'm just curious. Yeah, right. No, we got to be curious about that. What's going on, buddy? Okay. I'm glad you picked up on that. Very intuitive.
I don't miss anything. It's really a curse, actually. I'm telling you, it's a curse. Nobody believes me when they first meet me that it's a curse, but it is a curse.
That's funny. Oh gosh. Oh. Let's see. What else? What else should we talk about? We're coming up on 50 minutes. It's looking like. So, man, the conversation is going good. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Regain control of this conversation, because I'll just go all over the place. So,
I don't know.
Bring me in.
I don't know. I mean, we know let's see, my social impact. But we've already talked about that. You do so much healing work, and it's really, I don't, like, that's really what I want to end the show usually at is, and I'm going to direct the show better towards having a more, a better ending here with, social impact or contributions that individuals and guests are making, how they can connect with you. We start to wrap it up into all that stuff. So,
okay.
I don't know.
I mean, healing is a one-on-one thing, right? Like, healing is one-on-one interaction, and it needs to be done on a level where both parties feel safe, and it needs to be done at a level that both parties are willing to go to, right? One person can't be all the way up here, in their journey, and another person through the floor, because if you're not meeting the person where they're at, then you're going to harm them more than help them. And yes, I've learned that from experience. You can't rush the process, right? And no matter how bad you want it, you just can't. And it's very challenging at times to understand that, right? And meet people where they're at. And I'm still not great at it. I'm really not. I'm working on it. I see so much in the potential side that sometimes I miss where they're at side. And I'm trying to be more aware of that.
Oh. Okay. I thought you were going to keep going. That's good. I mean, it is important to meet people where they're at.
It's tough, though.
And if you can't do it right, we help them find someone that can.
Yeah. That's when I have the arsenal of fluffy people.
Yeah. Me. Bunch of others, yes. Fluffy people.
Look at Ketty. Look at Ketty. I love people. I don't love the bullshit.
What is going on here? Oh,
Kenny, I love you, bro.
Yeah. I guess now that you mention it, I haven't really. I'd never known KDJ to be this way.
Over the last month, he's just like it shifted. Like I don't know. Maybe it's a side effect of whatever vaccine he got. I don't know.
Yeah.
Should ask him if he's growing a tail.
What? Tail?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what these vaccines are going to do. They've only been around for 9 months.
Oh, you're talking about the vaccines, right? Oh,
Hey,
hi,
Jen.
Jen. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you. We were talking, not about you, but we were talking about misfits. So
Yeah,
we had
always
you
talking
in our, including you in some conversations tonight.
the misfits always come up.
Right. So, and I'm going to be on your show this week. I realize. Remember, I had sent you a message saying, "Oh, guess what? I realized that you're going to be on my show on Monday, and then I'm supposed to be on your show on Friday."
Good news. I go into the deep bullshit, so get ready.
Oh man, I'm really not looking forward to you exposing.
I'm not exposing anybody.
What's up?
I follow my intuition where to go and where not to go.
Right. Now I know it's fine.
I don't cross those lines.
We'll have fun.
It'll be a blast.
We'll see.
Plus it's Friday, so who knows? I mean, we all might be celebrating.
Yeah. So I might the kids will be in the background. Spring break.
Yeah, mine are permanently here, so yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, Jackie. Let's see. Let's see what else. I'm trying to look at the calendar. See if there was anything else.
I don't know. We have the show. I have the show with Jen and Christy on Wednesday, and then I have the show with Jairus tomorrow. And
yeah,
I don't even know who's my guest during the day tomorrow. Did I say that earlier? I think it's Daryl Arnold. I don't even know anymore. I can't keep track. I just can't. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were on Friday until you told me. I mean, I had no idea. It's just impossible to keep track at this point. It just is.
Yeah. Do you have a VA? Do you have someone that helps you? I know you have production.
No, I have Kelly who does all the producing, but I don't have a VA.
Oh, okay.
And I still schedule all my own guests. I mean, I still schedule people for other people too. So, I mean,
well, it's part of the connecting that you do. It's part of the work that you do. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, the connecting's a big thing, right? Building real connection, real network, real relationships, community, soul family, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's real, right? And I go and I build it at a deep level, on a soul level. I build these relationships with people, and that's how I introduce people to others. Also, is on a soul level, so that they start getting used to being on that level with people, so that they can evolve that direction as when they're ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Reading the comments, the world is full of BS. Sure is.
Yes,
we even saw a lot of BS today, huh? A lot of people throwing up the BS.
I'm telling you, it's like I come out and here comes all the curse words.
Yeah, no, but the soul, like I said, we were just talking a little bit ago, I know that my work is definitely done in a different way, and it's really hard to see a person's soul. For me, it is immediately. It does take time. I like to build on their character, their values, things that we've talked a little bit about, their expressions, how they communicate, their communication style, their communication patterns. Just stuff like that really for me is I use more to gather information and to be able to help people moving forward.
I get it. I mean, it's just
I couldn't do it like that, laser like you.
Well,
hey,
it's taken a while, right? It's I mean, I woke up at 4, so it's been years of being there that allows me to be able to do it that easily. So what?
The Twitch is the real me. Thank Gabe for that. What is going on?
Oh boy.
Oh no! We have an imposter. Imposter.
Let him have his cage.
Jackie, I'm calling reinforcing.
Oh jeez.
What's going on? Oh no, I don't know.
Jackie's supporting this.
Yes.
She's putting fuel on the fire.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. Yes, Michael is a true connector. He very is. He very much is. So
He's a blunt prick, but he is a true connector. Yes, it's okay.
Dorothy's been here all night. Thank you, Dorothy, for being here. Dorothy, so I had a great conversation with Dorothy. I gotta have another one, so we're gonna have that. But man, this hour flew by.
Yeah, I mean, you have me that doesn't shut up, so you're good. That helps, right? Like me just running with it is just great.
No, I mean, I tried to contribute to the conversation. I hope it was.
Did. You contributed amazingly. I just rambled. I go
No,
on
no, it's fine. I think it's really fine. The conversation, I always say it is what it's supposed to be. This is live. This is the way I do it. I can't go back. There's no what is it? There's no editing to this. So we just move forward and we enjoy it. Every moment. We just enjoy the moment. I don't have to worry about the past. Can't worry about the future. So yes, Dorothy, we're gonna all right, girl, you got it. Thank you, Jenny. Jenny always is such a sweet person, working so hard. I really appreciate her.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's see. LinkedIn is the refined Kenny edited version. All right. Well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm going to figure this out. We're going to once we end this show.
We've got to digest it with Kenny. We've got to figure this one out. Got to get to the bottom
and figure out. But you know what? We can definitely keep this conversation going on Friday. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
Yes, I agree. Thank you, Ricardo. That's right. Organic conversations are always better. I try not to, and then I get flustered, but that's okay. We keep it rolling. But Friday, yeah, we'll figure out what we're going to talk about. I don't know. I just hope you don't put me through like the ringer with some like deep questions.
Nah.
It's Friday, so we're going to keep it light.
I'll do the best I can to keep it light and fluffy for you.
Thank you. Yes, Jenny, podcast, no podcast. I know you texted me about that, asking me for help for a title. I say go with that. That's yours, girl. That's hers. Yeah. Hashtag that. That's yours. Own it. That's a good way to end. All right, my friend. I think we're going to end up this stream. I know Sid and the kids are waiting for you. And
yeah, they're running around like nut jobs.
Yeah. So, like I said, we'll just keep it going on Friday. And I appreciate it. I'm so glad we got to have this and you were my guest.
It's so awesome. I appreciate you so much, DJ. You're the best.
Thank you. I always give credit to my guests and people that have inspired me to get this far and keep me going. You know, it takes a lot to be out in front of the camera and try to have conversations and put yourself through these things as a new person to live streaming. But we always know that there's a greater good, a better, a mission, something that is a message within the show, hopefully for people, someone, information for them to take away. Sort of. All righty. All right, Michael.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, DJ. I appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you too, Jenny. Owning it. You go, girl. That's it. That's how we're going to end that. Yes. All right. Well, Michael, I'm going to send you back. You have a good night, my friend.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Take care. Oh, yeah. That's okay, Nick. What's going on? I know. I don't even think you can hear my music. Can you hear my music? You're amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it. I get nervous. I have my insecurities. It's not easy to be up here. Sometimes I don't know what to say. Sometimes I don't know what to do. I don't know where to look. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but that's okay. I can hear the music. Thank you, Nick. I got it figured out. It seemed to work out, so just be you. That's right. That's all I can be. That's all we can each be. Okay, my friends. I appreciate everyone coming in and stopping by. Thank you, Katie J. If that's Katie J. I don't know who that is. Oh, goodness. I don't know what's going on. Thank you. Yep, we can hear the music. All right. I'm just going to wrap up the show. We went over an hour. Normally, this is where I just start saying my thanks to all my viewers and all my listeners and all my audience. And I'm really, you know what, Nick? I'm so glad you made it. Guess what? This is a surprise. I don't have a guest for next week yet. Normally we get to this part of the show and I'm just like, okay, next week's guest is really exciting. This story's gonna be great, but nope, not this week. That's it. Not this week. I don't have a guest for next week yet. When are we doing One About Music? Okay, I know. You keep asking. Nice. Is that in response to my comment about not having a guest? We're going to do it the Nick way and just wing it? Just not know? Yeah, we'll figure it. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But I guess that's the end of the show. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate everyone for coming. If anything else left to say, I appreciate. Don't forget to follow me, LinkedIn. You can connect with me, Twitch. I appreciate you. YouTube, another amazing platform, Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, I appreciate all my family out there, all my friends out there. This wouldn't be as fun if I didn't have each one of you encouraging and motivating and inspiring me. So thank you. I will see you all next week. Thank you and have a great night.